Well, I want to thank you for making it to my second part video. This is the concluding video to my first part uh, of the watchtower in regards to Jehovah's Witnesses and everything that has to do with their child abuse issues and problems from within their congregation and religion. So in this video, just to give you the heads up, I will be wrapping things up. I will be giving my concluding thoughts and feelings and so forth of that on everything as a whole. But the first, as we look back, just to take a quick glimpse, the first video we was primary on this. We spent most of our time on study Article 19, okay, as we talked about a lot of the things in regards to why is the child abuse is actually a problem in the Jehovah's Witness religion. Okay, that chapter had a lot of insight as to in regards to what the responsibilities of parents have when it comes down to their children, you know, which is one of the reasons and one of the focus that I have. Okay, so we covered a lot of points, as you can see there. All right, and this one alone, if I remember correctly, we did about 13. I reviewed 13 paragraphs, and we also touched a little bit on these. I studied Article 18, which is technically the beginning. That's page 2 of this watchtower here. And we covered about, I think, 6 or 5 paragraphs. Seeing page 4 there. So got a few paragraphs in there. So now in this video, we will focus on the last article, which is study 20, which is on page 14. This one will be focused on the victims of sexual child abuse within the Jehovah's Witness religion. But I just want to say, for the most part, there's nothing that I've already covered on part 1 of, on the part 1 video in regards to everything that has to do with child abuse in the Jehovah's Witness religion, as far as the elders and the governing bodies concerned and stuff of that nature. This is something that's been around for quite a long time, and it's evidently so far it looks like it's going to be sticking around from what the information they've given so far in this watchtower. It's sad to say, but so far that's the impression that I personally got. That's the information that they have there. So excuse me, technically, none of the information that I've covered thus far surprises me personally, because this religion, if you're in this religion, you are under the control and the strong hand of the governing body, especially the elders. Okay, none of this surprises me. Now that I stand here as an ex-JW, none of this surprises me. None of it. Matter of fact, let's go together. Let's go to this page here, page 11. Speaking of elders, let's go back a little bit. We're going to come back to this, though. We have time for that. Because elders have much authority that's given by the governing body. Let's go to page 11, and let's see a little bit of that authority that they have, and that control that they have, and which creates pressure, if you ask me. Technically, it creates pressure on their members there. Let's check out paragraph 17. 17 and 18, yeah. All right, so we have page 11. We went back a little bit. If you're curious, how much control do they have? It's paragraph 17 and 18. So the ending part of paragraph 17 and 18. How much exactly control they do have? Oops, sorry about that. Let's get that out. Follow along with me. There it says, the elders judge or determine. Look at that. Elders in the congregation, they judge or determine whether an individual can remain in the congregation. So if you kept up and been following me so far on this watchtower as I've been reviewing it and all the way to this point, from the first video to now, and any of it has been hard for you to technically digest emotionally, mentally, and otherwise, if you feel in any way, if you actually are one of Jehovah's Witnesses or anything like that, or know anyone who is struggling and is still there, especially on account of this, at the end of the day, they call the shots. 18 there, as you see how they judge whether the abuser is repentant or not. And concluding there at the towards the bottom, they also they tell they have the authority to say if one can remain in the congregation. They have authority. They have all the authority, as much authority as the governing body gives them. They represent the governing body, technically. Okay, so interestingly, in such an article, or watchtower, I should say, technically, this is just one of the articles, they remind you when it comes down, because this article specifically is talking about child sexual abuse and how bad it is as we caught. This is what we did in the first covered. You see, you talk about why did sexual child abuse come into the congregation, how bad it is, and so forth. Let's study Article 19. It's funny how it's like they remind you, like, look, in other words, if you don't like it or you have an issue, look, we're the ones who are gonna say what persons, and in other words, they say even the child abusers, sexual child abusers, or anyone otherwise, we judge who stays and remain with us. But but the thing that really gets me is, and what got me is, how do they know? Just because you see, like here in paragraph 18, it says, for example, let's touch on that. Look, right here it says that the elders, okay, their role is a spiritual role, and they're guided by the scriptures, meaning it's in the Bible. And this is what they use to judge persons. How do you know? You don't have God's power to see in the heart. So how can you really tell if someone's truly repentant or not? Just because you're going by the Bible, I mean, that's kind of good, but it's not ultimately good. You can, well, nevertheless, that's a point to take in mind, that the elders call the shots, okay? Whether a sexual child abuser wants to stay in their religion or not, or their congregation or not, that's up to them, okay? And they're going to tell you if that person's repentant or not, which I think, honestly, that's bogus. Only God should be able to tell and know technically what the heart is if someone has a repentant heart. But anyway, moving along, we're going to focus and we're going to come out of that. And we're going to get into this. This is now the focus now in this video. All right. Now we're going to study Article 20. And now we're going to focus on everything that has to do with the victims, the actual victims of everything that has to do in regards to, their experience, what they go to, and, regards to the information here, what they have put up, what is their solution for their victimized congregation members. So that's going to be our focus. But let me say this. Let me read this off here that I have here on my end over here on my notes. So here I have written, and it's worded. So in a real life situation, okay. So in a real life situation, when a child or a person is sexually abused by an elder, okay, and his victim is frightened or traumatized by the thought of him or even seeing him, the governing body expects child abuse victims to be held by other elders when these are the same elders who willingly and lovingly help their child abuse elder, or as it's put, lost sheep, to remain and be a part of the congregation. While elders don't take preventative measures towards their fellow child abuser brothers, due to elders are protected by the fact, okay, that everyone in the congregation is taught to welcome them back as repentant child abusers who belong to Jehovah. Now, keeping all of this in mind, with all the gathered facts of information so far, now we're going to see what's the solution the governing body best gives their victimized congregation members, victims of sexual child abuse from within their congregation and their religion. So I just want to put that out there, set the tone on that. Something to open your mind up. Okay, how I'm going, something for you to keep in mind. Keep this in mind in real life situation. This is a real life situation to keep in mind. How are they now approaching and they're going to deal with this? Well, once again, just want to mention that this is the last article that we're going to go over and cover. Study 20. We're going to review, I think, 8 paragraphs. We're gonna do paragraphs 11 to 19. Okay, and we're gonna cover. Swerve with me there. We're gonna cover we did that last week. Last week, last video, apologize. But we're going to cover, this is page 16, which is after 15. We'll be covering pages 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So this one obviously is going to be shorter. Okay. So let's get into that right now. Let's get straight on into it. And let me zoom this in. Let's start off here. So here on page 16, paragraph 11, you notice what it says there, where I have highlighted. It says, all elders, okay, rather, let me rephrase that. Are the elders the only ones who can give comfort to victims of sexual child abuse? They tell you, nope, not at all. They tell you all of them have the responsibility to keep comforting one another. So like I had mentioned in the first part, I'll just reiterate now, which we know at this point, this is a problem that's on the laps or then is in the hands of all Jehovah's Witnesses, all of the members that makes up this religion. Now this is a problem for everyone because now they're saying it. It's right there. I'm not making it up. Look, it's telling you there. All JWs now have that responsibility to comfort victims of sexual child abuse. You see that? All of them have that. Now it's their responsibility. Now the next sentence, which is interesting though, even though they say everyone, because they have it there underlined, now everyone have the responsibility to comfort one another. But look, the first thing that they start off with, right after that says, but mature Christian sisters can be especially, you see the word that they choose to use for that? To describe what the role of a Christian sister is? They say mature Christian sisters, okay, can especially be encouraging to sisters in need of comfort. You see that? And why? Why is that? Well, because technically the governing body realizes how hard it is for the elders to approach child abuse victims at the hands of their congregation's child abusers, especially when elders are known for being them. Elders now need assistance from older sisters to help them with suffering sisters struggling, okay, with emotional pain caused by sexual child abuse. Okay, this is where we at right now. Okay, this is it. Is it word of mouth? Is it coming from me? No, it's not me. Let us go there. Let's turn right to the page 17, next page. Okay, where that information is backed up. Okay, is it word of mouth? No, this is the new thing now. Okay, now they're getting assistance from the older sisters to help them with their struggling victims of child abuse. Let's go on and let's check out paragraphs 11 and 12 on page 17 there. Okay, let me zoom that in. And we're gonna go here and touch on the how can they offer comfort. So here, okay, let me see something for a minute. Okay, just making sure I'm covering everything. Sorry about that. Here, as I have highlighted, follow along with me. So now, the way they offer comfort, the way they put their little information out there to guide their members, the governing body has this and within their information, which you probably started, you can see for yourself. They have 5 scriptural ways in which they may offer comfort. So now, with the help of the elders, the governing body is putting this information and ideas to their members on what they can do to actually help, okay, those who are victims of this horrific situation. So let's read some of the things that's there. I'm gonna read off my notes and you could just follow along with me. What are these scripture ways? Okay. Well, the first one they have there is offer practical help, which is basically acts of kindness. Okay. Which is basically acts of kindness, which the Jehovah Witness can do a great deal of good. All right. By offering a meal, a modest gift, or thoughtful cards, as they mentioned, by way of their example. So JWs now who feel uncomfortable discussing very personal or painful subjects like sexual child abuse, they say that JWs can still give such practical help. Let me stop there real quick. I mean, like, really? Do you have to put that there? Of course, that's a sensitive subject. How do you even approach that? So it's interesting that they use that wording, very personal. Yeah, it's very personal. You can talk about somebody who's been abused by the person that's probably possibly sitting right next to you and your children. And all in all, they still saying, well, you still can give your part by giving such practical help. You see what I'm saying? So, moving on. So that's the first thing that they say to do. Offer practical help. That's their first step out the 5 steps of what to do. 14 right there is going on to the second one. It says, make distressed ones feel safe and comfortable. If JWs want to offer comfort to victims of abuse, let me see. And you know what? I'm sorry on this that I didn't even. Let me see something here. And you know what? It's right there though, right where I'm marking. Let me see. I'm trying to look for. But we'll just go. Let me see. I'm looking for a specific thing so we can be on the same page. But right there, I'll stop right here. We're on paragraph 14. It says there, they may want to offer. Let me see if I can hit it right on the spot there. Let me see. Come on, Robert. Let's see it there. Let's put this here. All right. There we go. All right. I did something. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure we're in the same. I apologize. My apologies on that. So there they're saying, okay, that if they want to offer comfort to victims of abuse, they may need to first to help them feel safe. Okay, you see that? Which makes sense. And also for instance, elders should keep in mind that a distress system may feel safer and more comfortable having a cup of tea in a relaxed setting at home rather than they would in the Kingdom Hall conference room. And then another might feel opposite. So let me just stop there. That really doesn't make no sense. For them to even put in there, and this is why I took time to highlight that. Really, why would you word it that way? When you dealing with someone with this trauma, in this state, what do you mean they may first need help? Or y'all may first need, that's the first thing they need to feel. So it's not even a question. Okay, so using may all the time in these situations, and as you see here further, elders should keep in mind that a distress system may, really? Duh, of course they may feel safer in a more comfortable setting. That goes with no question. That goes with no question. You understand the looks of the inside of Kingdom Hall, may make her think of her elder child abuser. Come on, think about it. Come on now. This is what. But anyway, moving right along. So the 5 things in total, okay, is already there before you between these paragraphs here. I didn't get into everything. Okay, you can if you like. It's right there. But that's basically what they suggest here. This is what they're giving them. This is the assignment, the personal responsibility that they're telling their members to do. Okay? It's everyone's responsibility, but especially they're putting the pressure on mature Christian sisters. There's 5 steps, scriptural ways that they have, or steps, and this is the 5. They offer practical help. Okay. Make them feel comfortable. As you see there, upper right hand side, make the stressed ones feel safe and comfortable. 15, be a good listener. Okay. Those is 3 out of 5 right there, page 17. Page 18. Pray earnestly with the one in pain. You see? That's 4. And last but least, and that was page 18. Page 19. You know, I didn't go in depth and detail. They have paragraph 19. They have choose words that heal and console. See that? You see that? And of course, they're going to give you surrounding information. See? That I didn't get into because I was just touching on the steps itself specifically. You see? And as you can see there, this is what it is. This is what it is. Okay? So what the governing body's doing, technically, what are we doing here? So what the governing body's doing is their strategy really is nothing new or nothing that child abuse victims haven't heard of or seen before. A sister, a Bible, a prayer, really? You can see that this is what they're doing. A sister, is it a word of mouth? A sister, prayer, a Bible. What it really sounds like is that they are using older sisters as bait. That's what it sounds like. Okay? The problem with this is that victims of abuse, of sexual child abuse, or sexual abuse, period, they don't want to be sitting up in the front of anyone or around anything who may remind them of their abusers, their child abusers' face, and keeping in mind that if an elder, all right, sexually abused her, she won't want to be reminded of her bad experience. This is the problem with that. You see, this is the real problem. You know, they putting this pressure on the older sisters here now, using them as bait. You know, because they know that this is a very delicate situation. But look, this is the tactics they're using. This is what, you understand? So mature sister is going to make a world of the difference. Why? Is it a eldest trained wife on what to say for them? Because the reality is child abuse victims don't want to go to a kingdom hall where child abusers is lurking around. Okay, including their abusers. No one can blame sisters or no one for that matter for exiting out this religion after such a bad tragedy of child abuse, of child abuse when it happens to them. You know, because your JW family members can't surely do nothing. That's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. But let's move on. This is how they choose to want to resolve this situation. But let me show you here. Now we're on page 20, and by the way, this is the next chapter in this. This is totally different stuff. This is the very last page. Like I said, this video was going to be way shorter. I was just getting straight to the point of things. Okay. Bringing out the points. Then now this is a problem for all JWs to deal with. This is basically the way that they feel is going to handle and help this issue. Now let's come me to the very last page and check this out in this paragraph here. And by the way, on this page 20 here on comfort from the scripture box, I have highlighted surrounding there. Follow along. This really is shocking to say the least. Here it says at this verse, as that verse encourages, I have poured out my heart before Jehovah, and I begged him for comfort and for a sound heart and mind. Through constant prayer to Jehovah, I gradually found real comfort and peace of mind. Now, let me zoom this in, because this right here is supposed to comfort you if you've been abused by your child abuser in the congregation. This is supposed to comfort you. Keep this in mind. These are all scriptures. There has so many of them. You see that up here? There's so many. See that? A great many could be listed, but these are just a few, only a handful. A handful for to comfort sexual child abuse victims under the hands of their elder child abusers. Look, so they basically picked out the most encouraging ones, the encouraging comments and quotations. That includes verses that scriptures that I'm not going to put. But if you notice there, what we just read, this is coming from who? An elder who was sexually abused when he was about 9. Wow. The Bible works for sexual abuse elders. It can work for you. This is what they're telling you. This is what they're telling you now. So now this is what they're putting in your heart and mind now. Really. This is what I have to say on this. This is my take on this. It's known that some child abusers, were in fact once victims of sexual abuse themselves as a child. And some victims grow to adults and repeat the same horrific sexual abuse pattern with other innocent children or people. Elders have become known within the congregations as sexual child abusers. Is it the governing body's comforting idea, one can ask, in regards to this information paragraph that's put before you, that's here? For including such a statement given from a congregation elder on his child abuse as a child, is this really to build confidence up in a JW, or rather a Jehovah's Witness faith throughout the congregations? At a time when Jehovah Witness members are the very prime target of child abuse amongst their elder sexual child abusers. The moment you're comfortable with this idea and thought in your head about the elders, then letting your guards down to what's going on in reality, technically, inside this religion, is that's exactly what you'll be doing. You in fact will be letting your guards down. You let this thought sit, and you allow this to go well with you. I mean, when I went and caught sight of this and I read this, I could not, I was like baffled. I'm like, really? This is what it is? This is what they got. These are the things that basically they got. Nothing new. So if you are a Jehovah's Witness now, and if you have anybody in your circle, or if this unfortunately, hopefully didn't, but if this happens to you, this is basically what they want to offer you. They want to bring you back to the congregation and get you back into getting gaining the trust of the elders to get back to right where you landed at. Now, part one, just to reinnovate, part one, my video, which I already touched on, these These persons, they do not call. You could be sitting right next to your sexual child abuse, because these people, they don't believe in involving authorities. They don't prevent these things from happening. All of that is included in part one. This is basically in 20 paragraphs what they offer. You can, take time and go through everything. If if there's something that's missing. But this is basically what it is. I just got straight to the point. I got straight to the point. Okay? You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. But in conclusion, as I conclude wrapping up this review of this whole watchtower, that more than half, you could say a good majority of it, was touching on the Jehovah's Witnesses sexual child abuse issues and their way of handling it, the way they handle it, the way they handle they want their congregation members to have this in heart and mind, and how they want them to go about things, and what I just covered there for their victims, child abuse victims. This is what this review of this whole watchtower was really technically about. Okay. We covered quite a bit. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the beginning. Yeah, there you go, the cover. So this is my concluding and final, as I wrap up, my final thoughts and take on this. And this is what it is. Look, so at the real end of the day, JWs or Jehovah's Witnesses, same thing, can totally believe that by following how their governing body and elders handle its child abuse problems within its religion is okay and is right, and being around a repenting child abuser Christian, quote unquote, who desires or fights their desires to abuse the family's children around them, might not affect their personal hearts or conscience. And you know what? Honestly, and that's up to each person to face and decide. Okay? That's the truth. It's totally up to the individual at the real end of the day. If this is well with you. If you want to have repentant child abusers sitting there along right with, side by side with you while you praising God and keeping your life as you go about normal, dedicated to, what you're doing, that's your choice at the real end of the day. Okay? But something that I want to leave you off with, something that I must urge you to look at before I make the final, before I conclude on everything. I want to take things to something that's very, very near and dear to my heart personally, something that I take up most serious. And this is one of the main reasons, if not the reason, why I decided to put this information out there and do this, because it pertains to me. This is the core reason why I left, the top reason why I left. I took my family, my kids and my wife out of this religion because of how they handle child abuse. Okay? And this specifically, what I'm going to go over right now at this moment in time, if you come with me and follow with me, is the real reason that I remember 5 years ago is why I left. It's the reason why I left. Because this information that I'm going to share with you now, I don't know if you saw it or not, but if you're a Jehovah's Witness, I'm quite sure if you was there, you didn't miss the meeting, you would have caught this, or you know this already, depending on how long your career as one of Jehovah's Witnesses has been. This is one of the things, this right here, this information 5 years ago is when I first got my hands on information about this was the very first thing. Me and my wife sat down before the elders and had a conversation on the thoughts about everything and the questions that we had about sex, child abuse amongst, at that time, our religion then. And so let me show you something here. Follow with me as we go to page 13. This is page 13, okay? And this is study article 19, 19. All right, let me show you. Let me go into this here. Let me zoom this here so you can see. Right above there where it says how to protect your children. Now there's one thing here, okay, just to go back for 1 minute. On page 11, there's one thing that elders have the power, like I mentioned, to determine whether an individual can remain in the congregation or not. They could judge whether the sexual child abuse is repentant or not. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I understand. I totally get that. They the judge in that matter. That's how they set up. Okay, but this is the thing here. As a parent, this is what got me. Right there on top of paragraph 19, paragraph 18, it says that, you see that? It says, let's read it together. Out of concern for the welfare of children, the elders may, there you go, their favorite word that they love to use. If you take time and go throughout this article, that's one of the words got to use to is may. They love that word may. The elders may privately warn the parents of minors in the congregation of the need to monitor their children's interaction with the individual. Now, just in case you don't know what they mean, they're basically saying there, okay, that if a child abuser is found guilty, okay, if they're found guilty, all right, This is why I have here. This is the problem. The problem with this is, as mentioned in the beginning, the governing body or others don't protect the children. The very beginning, I said that in part 1. That was one of the things I highlighted. Okay, and this is why it's so important that you pay attention. You see, how can, if we look back here, if you look at the bottom. They tell you that your children, okay, when it comes down to your children, these are the things that they tell you. This is what I brought out in part 1. And I was highlighting it. It's your responsibility to protect your trust from Jehovah, to safeguard your kids, right? It's your responsibility to do that. To protect them from and be alert from potential dangers. There they say, remember that in most cases the abuser is someone the child already knows. I covered all of that. But this is what they're telling you, JW parents, to do with your children. You see that? Are you with me there? You see what they're telling you there? But mind you though, how are you able to do that? How can you be alert to potential dangers around your children in the congregation if you don't know? Because they may not even tell you that the one next to you may be the child abuser you didn't know about. You see that? You see how that works? You look above. Now they're using their favorite wordplay, out of concern, supposedly, quote unquote, for the welfare of children, the elders may. Now you mean to tell me as a parent, you're not going to tell me straight off the back? You're not going to tell me if a person that you think is fine, is okay? We go here to page 11. Let me just help you understand here. Let's go into this. Let me back up here. Let's go over 18 because it says, when elders serve on a traditional committee, their role is a spiritual role or religious. Guided by the scriptures, they judge whether the abuser is repentant or not. If you're unrepentant, they're gonna kick your ass out. You gone. See that? If you're not confessing, if you're not to your child abuser, if you don't feel, if they know for a fact you're a child abuser and you're not saying sorry, you don't feel remorseful, anything like, you get kicked out. And they make an announcement. They don't play. You see it right there. But now, look how the ball game changes. But here at the bottom, as you see, it says if he is repentant, he may, he may remain in the congregation. And then it goes on to say, however, the elders will inform him that he may lose his, his elder rights. See how it continues? He may lose any congregation privileges to serve in any position of responsibility. Congregation. Then they go on to say, let's put it together now, that out of concern for the welfare of children, the elders may, that didn't sit well with me. And so when the elders told me and my wife that 5 years ago, and they were sitting in our living room in our place, that's when I knew it was time to go. Because how can you do what they're saying when they have your eyes blinded? How can you monitor your children's interaction with the individual who is a child abuser, who is repentant and will still remain part of the congregation? How do you do that? Well, this is the thing. The truth is when a child abuse victim can't provide the sufficient proof that's required from elders, not disputing that the victim is being truthful, elders will stay quiet about the whole thing anyway and keep it to themselves while the child abusers remain lurking within their congregation. So why I'm telling this is that, and I want you to understand that while they don't really want to tell you that, child abusers is in their congregation. They don't want to tell you. They don't want to stay quiet. They want to stay quiet. Look over here. Go back to page 11. All right. If you follow me, page 11 or paragraph 16. Page 11, paragraph 16 starts on your lower left-hand side, and it continues on here. Pay close attention. You got to see that. This is like super big on me, big in front of me. So it says, the absence, this is what happens to a child abuse victim without two witnesses or confession from their abusers. The absence of a second witness does not mean that the one making the accusation is untruthful. Even if a charge of wrongdoing can't be established by two witnesses, the elders recognize that a serious sin, meaning this child abuse, may have been committed. So, they're part of their ongoing support to these individuals. What they'll do is, you see that there? The elders remain alert regarding the alleged abuser to what? For their theory, this is their theory. This is the idea of remaining alert. They remain alert regarding the alleged abuser to what? To protect not parents, not children. What's the word they have there? Or did they choose the congregation? Does that include the children and the parents? Well, I would take it that's what that means. They don't dispute that what they're saying is wrong, that the victims of child abuse is wrong, but they just can't prove it. So what the elders do is they stay quiet about it. And what they do, they keep things to themselves. And that's how those lurking sexual child abusers, them elders, they keep striking again because of this right here. When they say sorry, they show signs of repentance, they can remain in the congregation, And meanwhile, though, they'll tell you as parents to watch your children, protect them. It's your responsibility. You're accountable for them. Be alert to potential dangers and so forth. The abuser is someone that they already know. See, I touched on that already in my first video. And then they want to hit you with boom. Out of concern for the welfare of children, the elders may, keyword may, possibly. Well, if they want, if they choose to. Okay. You see? So, at the end of the day, this is what I'm really warning parents. If you're now still in this part of this religion, if you consider leaving for this very reason, you will not be wrong. You will not be wrong because you have the right to know who your children's around and who you're around. They should not be staying quiet. They should not in no way be staying quiet, okay, when they know and staying alert, because your job is to be alert for alleged abuser. Because remember, they do not kick them out, they do not call authorities. But at the end of the day, as a reminder, this is what it is. Who have the responsibility to protect children from harm? You do. And you got to do that with your dear life. Remember what it says here. It says, learn about the kind of individual who abuse children, the tactics they use to deceive them. Be alert to them. This is all there. Yes, and this really includes Jehovah Witness elders. That's what they're talking about. That's who they know. They're right there in your face, in your backyard, right within your midst. So I want to conclude, and I want to by concluding this two-part video, and this is the second part, and I was focusing on the victims and what they go through. I'm gonna have all of this information linked in my video. This will be there for you to look for yourself. Okay, I will have all the attachments and all the information there. But now it's time, as I'm concluding, I just want to say I thank you so much for your time and your ear and your open heart to this subject. I really took time to do this just to give insight on this sensitive, horrific subject of sexual child abuse amongst the congregation in this religion. My history with this religion is that I used to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm no longer, it's been 5 years, and this was the reason that I left, because of this, how they operate when it comes down. You know, like I said before, at the end of the day, if you choose, if you're well with your conscience, you believe that, you know, they handling this right with giving, you know, the love that they give and all of that stuff and the forgiveness and all, however you want to choose to do that, and you want to, if you're okay with these persons around you not knowing quietly, that's your choice. It really, really, really is your choice. Okay. But at the end of the day, you have the right, okay? You have that right, that ultimate God-given right to really know who and what is around your children. Okay, you should be told, listen, this person, this is around your child for the safety of them. With that done and said, I just want to thank you real quick. This is going to conclude part 2 of this review of the Watchtower video. And I will give my very, very last final thoughts and takeaways in the next part to this as well. So take care of yourself, stay healthy, be happy, and may peace be with you and your family. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, it's good seeing you again. Well, if you're at this point in the video, this is of my Watchtower review video.
you could say, so to speak. I first want to really like thank you once again for making it from beginning to end. If you know this right now is you done seen everything that I had to say. So at this point, it's just basically hearing back from you. If you have anything you want to feel free to say or respond on or comment on, I appreciate it. If not, I thank you just for watching. I appreciate that. So now at this point, is the end right now. And so now it only leads me up to just give you my final thoughts on everything, you know, as a whole, what you know, where I'm at with this, and you know, at not where you know where I'm at in regards to the whole overall issue with child abuse when it comes down to Jehovah Witness religion. So I'm gonna tell you that right now momentarily, but before I even do that, right now I want to go into what I took away from this whole watchtower study. And if you agree with certain things, feel free to just, you know, respond to me on that, or, you know, however you want to communicate on that. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I actually have it printed out right here because there's a few. So what I came up with here is I have a whole list, and what I got here before me, I came up with 12 takeaways. That's the words that I'm using. I'm wording it that way. So there's exactly 12 things, or 12 things that you could take away from this watchtower, okay, that we just went through. So the 12 takeaways is this regarding Jehovah's Witnesses and child abuse. The first one is this. What I took away from this is this. The first, you know, we know about the child abuse issue we have in our religion, but it's not our fault it got here. That's the first thing that I got reviewing this watchtower. The first impression that I got. All right. Two, the governing body wants it to be clear that children is to be protected from dangers of child abuse by their parents. Okay, they want that to be clear, that for children to be protected from the dangers of child abuse, they're making it clear through this that that has to be something that comes from the parents. The parents is their obligation, their responsibility for that. That's two. Three, child abusers are all Lord's sheep that belong to Jehovah. It's crazy. I just gotta shake my head. I'm not even going to it. Four, Jehovah wants his child abusers to be treated with love and tenderness. Okay. Five, Jehovah is eager. Just breathe in. Jehovah is eager for child abusers to return to the congregation. Six, Jehovah's Witnesses who imitate Jehovah's love gladly welcomes back child abusers who return to Jehovah. I'm behave. I don't even got. I'm reading my list. The 12 takeaways are Jehovah's Witnesses who imitate Jehovah's love gladly welcome back child abusers who return to. Okay. All right. Seven. Elders as shepherds gain Jehovah's approval by treating his child abusers with love and tenderness, and gain the love and respect from their brothers and sisters. 8. Elders don't take preventative measures towards their own child abuser fellow elders. Elders are safe through the protective fact that their fellow elders won't report them to the authorities, and they are well received. They are well received back into the congregation as repentant child abusers who belong to Jehovah. This is what I got. If you was there and you was with me all the way through, this is what I got. This is not word of mouth. I'm just throwing that out. I'm just throwing that out there. 9. We did 8. Got three more. Nine. Nine is elders uses help from the older mature sisters to try to gain back their child abuse victims. It's true. It's really true. I'm just saying. This is crazy. I'm not laughing at any. I'm not poking or making fun of nobody. But this is true information. It just is. I'm human. I'm like reading it is different. Is when you read it is different. Anyway, 10. We up to 10. The governing body wants it known that if child abuse elders can rely on the Bible, so can the congregation's child abuse victims. That's also true because remember page 10. From page 10, the paragraph from the child abuse, the elder from the child abuse experience at the age of 9. Remember, this is page. You can go back to the. Yeah, 11. 11 is elders judge whether a child abuser is repentant or not, and whether an individual, the sexual child abuser, can remain in the congregation around families which are potential targets and victims for the abuser. That's 11, which is crazy. That's sad, but is there. Is there. I think if I remember correctly, that was in like on page 11 or something like that. And study 19 is there though, but that's crazy. They the ones who judge whether or not. I don't know. In any event, all of this, these 12, this list that I have here that I came up with, the 12 takeaways that I got from this watchtower review, I'm gonna have this on link to my video so you can see it. You can have, you can just see it yourself if I'm talking too fast, or if you can't for whatever reason. This is gonna be there. So that was 11. This is the last one, okay? And this is the one that got your boy, that got me, got Roberto out of this religion. Me and my family. I was out. This is the one that got me right here. The final last one, 12. The final takeaway, which is very important for you if you're a Jehovah's Witness parent, know a Jehovah's Witness parent, know a Jehovah's Witness parent is studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't let them get sucked up a quarter without them being responsible enough to know the accurate information, have insight on what goes on with this child abuse is serious business, as he already seen because he went through the whole watchtower with me, or most of it. Oh, whatever. But the information is there. The information is it will be there. So 12 is this. Okay. It's the elder's choice whether to warn the parents in the congregation of the need to monitor their children's interactions with the individual. They're referring to the repentant sexual child abuser. You see that? That's in Article 19, study Article 19. I remember that much. So check it out. Just to reiterate, like the elders choose. They have the choice. Or here at least is saying they have the choice. Sometimes they want to. They feel the need. If they feel it's important enough, it says. I have here this 12, which is there. We went over. It's the elder's choice whether to warn the parents in the congregation of the need to monitor their children's interaction with the child abuser, with the individual. That's the 12th and final one. These are the 12 takeaways that I got from this whole entire, from my review on this watchtower regarding the Jehovah's Witnesses and child abuse. Just want to take time out. Thank you once again. Can't thank you enough. Rocking out with me on that. And, I guess now this is just my final thoughts. So my final thoughts is this. This is my final thoughts, okay? My final thoughts is all, not just the Jehovah Witness religion, but all all religions, have their specific rules. They have their set of rules, okay? And at the end of the day, that's out of the hands of any Christian that chooses to follow or be a part of Christianity or religion. Real talk. I know that's out of your hands. But, okay, but it is always totally up to the person who controls. It's always totally up to the person who controls their faith, and their dedication to God. It's my final thoughts. Okay. And well, regarding me, my choice has been and will always be God. Okay. As religion is not my God, okay, but only God Himself is. May you keep and stay on your spiritual journey or life journey. Be happy, be healthy, and be peaceful. Peace. Thank you once again. Till next time.